Chaos is defined as behavior so unpredictable as to appear random, owing to great sensitivity to small changes in conditions. But if one of those small changes guarantees stability 100% of the time, then is that really chaos? In Civilization 6, culture victories are by far the most chaotic out of any victory type due to one reason. For all the other victory types, you just need to work on one yield to guarantee victory. But even if you have 1 million culture, that doesn't win you the game. Tourism does. In fact, culture's the only victory type where your yields can prevent an enemy from winning the game, because the more culture an enemy civ has, the more tourism you need to overcome that, which can take 100 turns or 1,000 turns. This unpredictability is completely random, owing to great sensitivity to small changes like enemy civs, wonders, buildings, and how your own game is going. But there is one thing we can do, one small change that 100% guarantees the fastest victory type you can obtain in Civ 6. And today we're going to be doing just that using Jayavarman, the only civ this strategy will work for. The rules are simple. Win a culture victory before turn 220 and tame the most chaotic victory type in Civilization 6. We start near a river. I'm sold. This is the only requirement we need due to Khmer holy sites getting adjacency from them, as well as a key pantheon we'll reveal later. But it gets even better, with honey and bananas giving us the basis for a 20 population city and a lot of tourism with flight. But this isn't enough to implement our strategy. We'll actually have to deviate from our regular scheduled programming into a high-risk, high-reward strategy, because in order to tame this chaos, there are two things we need to get before anyone else can. The first of which is a golden age, which will require luck, sure, but the RNG can be mitigated with the second need, a religion. And not just any religion. We need two critical beliefs that the AI will almost always take if they found one before us. And so, in order to ensure we get our pick of beliefs, we make the risky move of going astrology first, and hope to boost it through discovering a natural wonder. This need for discovery pairs well with the first part of our game we spend uncovering the map as quickly as we can, and are rewarded with a quick discovery of Old Faithful, leading to a lightning-fast astrology. But this might be a fake blessing in disguise, because we didn't have time to pump out our first settler, as we have to go for the holy site. This may prove dangerous if the AI cuts us off from expansion paths and limits our tempo in the early game. But that tempo is more than made up for, as our early game exploration provides more than we could have ever asked for. The secret society Void Singers, which is crucial to this plan, as well as our meeting of 3 civilizations, in Georgia, Nubia, and Persia. But the only one that matters is the latter, who is much too close for comfort, meaning we have to settle the south before they can, or risk them cutting off the entire west to our expansion. And one of the ways to stop them from settling near us is loyalty, which is increased the more population you have, and pairs well with what pantheon we go for, the river goddess, whose boost to holy sites on rivers pairs perfectly with Jayavarman's ability. But even with a very high early game population, the fact of the matter is that we only have one city, and with the resulting underperformance in the era score department, we are in for a shock, as the age is about to come to an end, and we are nowhere near a golden age. There is very little we can do with just 10 turns left, at least until we discovered a natural wonder that was about to change our game. You see, you get era score from settling natural wonders, but we can't settle Old Faithful since we have to settle the south before Cyrus steals it. But this natural wonder's in perfect position to meet both of our goals, and after cutting Cyrus off from the south, I realize that we miscalculated, and are just barely under the threshold with just a few turns left. But a golden age is only the first part of our strategy, one that, as we said, can be helped by completing the second part of founding a religion. And for this entire time, we foregone settlers in favor of holy site prayers, as just before the next era comes along. Our great prophet and subsequent religion is the first to this game, giving us the two vital beliefs we need of choral music and Gurdurwas for more culture and food. And finally, this boost in era score allows us to enter the classical era with a golden Golden Age completing both of our stated goals. Goals that give us all the culture and faith we need to get started on winning this super fast culture victory. But before we can even entertain any tourism, we need to catch up with settling the continent we've ignored for too long. And the Golden Age gives us monumentality, the ability to faith by settlers and builders as I set out to settle the 12 cities we need before the end of our golden era. But the first roadblock is the barbarian camp that spawned right near our capital, and while we do easily take it out, the capital is undefended and has its holy site completely pillaged by those barbarians, halting our faith accumulation we need for the settlers. And to further rub it in, repairing these pillaged buildings means that settlers will take even longer to build, which itself results in lower yields like culture and therefore a much later political philosophy than normal. And with no ancestral hall, the more expensive settlers further limits our settler production in a vicious cycle that was about to get a whole lot worse. Because after finally getting political philosophy and going classical republic, we realize we didn't even have colonization. No wonder we're so far behind. But surely all our faith will save us, right? Well, not quite. In most games, traders help speed up city development, giving them the production to get out other districts faster than normal. But traders require commercial hubs, and our plan required us to build holy sites first, meaning no commercial hubs and thus no traders. Eventually we do get to work on the ancestral hall, and our holy sites do come along slowly, but the compounding effect of various slowdowns is finally ready to give us the death blow. We might be able to buy at least a few settlers before time is up, surely. Well, that was until I saw that Nubia was converting my cities, putting my religion on the brink of destruction, forcing me to use what little faith I've saved up to buy missionaries to counteract her. And as the Golden Age gave way to one of darkness, completely and utterly wasted, our limited amount of cities, and even more limited amount of good cities, in a culture game specifically, means that this game is not looking good. We need a plan, and luckily enough, I have the perfect one. The first part of our plan is the Dark Age policy card, Exodus of the Evangelists, because once we increase our faith, we can begin spreading our religion throughout the Empire for more era score. Because right now, our only hope is to somehow claw our way up from the bottom and enter a heroic age. But can we get it? My capital in the meantime will do its part and continue building the settlers we need for more cities to convert, while our other cities begin by building holy sites and then commercial hubs as they slowly begin to catch up. But this next move will vault us ahead of everybody else, a governor title we use to enter the Voidsinger's secret society. And while many civs have choice words for the gang we chose to rep, the second promotion is key to winning this game. But for now, the first promotion gives every monument we have plus 4 faith. Faith we use to buy all our religious units, as well as saving up for any future civilians once we get the heroic age, if we get it. And while my missionaries get to work giving me the era score I need, we realize that just converting won't be enough and decide to supplement the conversions with the Stonehenge Wonder, giving us an apostle in addition to the era score which we use to evangelize the World Church belief, which further boosts my culture. And now everything is ready for the comeback, which starts with the second governor title. We're making 130 faith per turn with much more on the way. Chorus, the second ability, takes 20% of that and adds it to every other yield in the game. And just like that, we begin rocketing up the leaderboards. But we still need that heroic age because monumentality is essential to our plans. But looking around, you might be asking, I've already settled all my cities. Why would I need more? Well, earlier I said that monumentality gives you not only settlers but also builders. And those builders are affected by the serfdom policy card we plugged in, giving all those builders 5 charges to chop out rainforests for more population and district production. 3 builders for every city will, in less than 20 turns, turn all my cities into beacons of cultural development. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. We are still significantly behind the next stage, but with all our cities converted, what more can we do? Well, that is where Old Faithful comes in. The wonder that gave us the first religion in the game will grant not 4 era score like the other wonder we settled, but 7 from both the natural wonder as well as being the first city city we settle on this continent. And after taking the time to give Pingala his promotions, changing our government to a theocracy for more faith, I realized something. We haven't even started our comeback yet, and we're already the most advanced civilization in the game. And as the heroic age comes in, giving us not only monumentality, but also 2 more key abilities, it's now time to finally begin one of the greatest development sprees in Civ history, which will lead to us taking the game by the balls and winning not only a lightning-quick culture victory, but also reach the limit for how fast you can win this game without cheating. The goal is simple: buy builders in every city. To work resources, sure, but they will be primarily used to chop out everything for faster population, as well as the production to obtain 3 key districts. Holy sites for the stragglers, entertainment complexes for both amenities, but more importantly the adjacency bonus for the 3rd district, theater squares, which will finally allow us to begin accumulating great works. And with our faith, we waste no time buying 1 builder in every city, as all 3 districts were spammed out in record time, which when combined with our high population allowed us time to build a 4th district, commercial hubs and harbors to obtain traders and boost every city into super strength status. But all the strength in the world doesn't guarantee the Colosseum, which was, for the 2nd time in a row, stolen from us. But unlike last game, that didn't matter. Our rapid advancement meant that entertainment complexes, as well as all its buildings, would soon enough put all our cities over the 5 amenity threshold we need for the 20% boost to all yields. But despite all our numbers rocketing up the charts, we were still nowhere close to winning a culture victory. All because we were cursed in this game with one of the worst civs you could ask for: Cyrus. You see, Cyrus has a unique tile improvement that gives huge amounts of culture, and when you couple that with the AI's tendency to spam out their unique improvements, he has all the culture he needs to completely stall our culture victory. We need to somehow overcome this massive culture output, and fast, because even after buying all his great works, the culture is just too high to keep down for long. And this all comes to a head with flight, which doubles our tourism thanks to the unique Khmer building, the Prasad, giving tourism when you research flight. But that's nowhere near enough. After democracy gives us enough amenities for the permanent 20% boost, our yields reach another level, allowing us to quickly obtain rock bands who can easily give you enough tourism to win the game in less than 10 turns, if done right. But you might be surprised to hear that we are not building them yet, because they require faith. And right now we're spending all our faith and every piece of gold to obtain great works from other civs, as well as the Great People Screen. This also serves to boost our culture and thus our science, allowing us to rapidly research the tourism policy cards, as well as computers and environmentalism, giving our empire a combined 50% boost to tourism. And finally, with almost 700 culture, we finally reach it: cultural hegemony, a civic that contains 2 policy cards, but for the purposes of this game, we only need 1, Hallyu. And this all comes back to rock bands, because you see, rock bands require faith, but it's not a static cost, as the more you buy, the more expensive they become. And each rock band gets a random pool of 3 promotions, but with RNG you might get bad promotions and face the reality of 50-50 odds of dying every concert, which as you can imagine means they are incredibly inefficient and oftentimes a crapshoot even with the right promotions. But Hallyu lets you pick from all the promotions, allowing every rock band we have to get either space rock or album cover art, the 2 best promotions, giving us higher odds of living per concert when on spaceports, campuses, and wonders. Wonders in particular give the most tourism per concert, and further survival means more tourism per concert, since the more concerts you perform, the more CD sales you gain. And CD sales are what influences how much tourism each concert gives you. And if we can get 1 to 2 rock bands to 2 or 3 promotions, then we might be able to get up to 10,000 tourism per concert. And thus tens of rock bands began to flood the market, performing concerts with higher odds than not of success. And while many do die, many others obtain the tier 3 promotions we need, giving us less than 10% chance of dying per concert. And with all this tourism, we explode onto the scene with massive tourism numbers, making Cyrus's culture gains null and void as we win a turn 2 6-team victory on a random map, proving that the Khmer are the best civ in Civilization 6.